Welcome class. Myself Professor D.S. Rai, Professor Department of Civil Engineering, BVD, ITM, Lucknow. Today we will take up a course Case E 076 Urban Transportation Planning, in which we will cover today lecture 16 Transportation Planning Process, Problems and Solution. References as usual I have taken Chakravarti Partha and Das Animes Principle of Transportation Engineering, Pepe Costa and Brevederas Transportation Engineering and Planning, Cadiali and Lal Principle and Practices of Highway Engineering, Neptel, and some material have been taken from internet. The contents that I have taken are transportation planning, component of transportation, travel forecast, transportation problem facing US cities, transportation problem, traffic management, long commuter, parking issue, large fleet cost, a sprawling city, making public transportation attractive, bad traffic management, parking problem, fuel price, faulty planning and transport system, worn out and obsolete asset, improved technology. Transportation planning. Transportation planning is defined as a planning required in the operation, provision and management of facilities and services for the modes of transportation to achieve safer, faster, comfortable, convenient, economical and environmental friendly movement of people and goods. For transportation to take place, four components are essential, that are modes, by which mode the passenger or goods are going. Infrastructure means road, bridge, metros, railway tracks, etc. Network, there should be a proper network, and flows, how traffic are flowing. So, component of the transportation as given, that is the first is a mode in which aeroplane, then car, then the rail, truck, etc. are shown here. Then infrastructure, that shows road, and networks, how roads are connected or different modes are connected with each other, and the flow, how the traffic flow is going on. Travel forecast. 4-step travel model is framework for determining transportation forecast, and that are trip generation, trip distribution, trip choice, mode choice and route assignment. So, trip generation determines the frequency of origin and destination of the trip in each zone by trip purpose as a function of land. This is a very important function of land, household, demography and other socio-economic factor. Then the second step is a trip distribution. Trip distribution matches origin with the destination, often using a gravity model calculation that takes into account the relative activity at the origin and destination as well as the travel cost to go between them. Then the mode choice, by which mode the passenger or trip will be completed. The mode choice compute the portion of trip between each origin and destination that use a particular transportation mode. Route assignment. Route assignment allocate a trips between the origin and destination by a particular mode to a particular route. So, this is a line diagram for 4-step regional travel forecasting model. You can see here, here is the highway and transit network. It is connected with the zone to zone. So, each city are divided into different zones for the traffic or making trips. Then it is connected based on the land use data, and after getting this all things, then the trip generation step will come in existence. The second is a trip distribution. As we think how trip generates, suppose we have to purchase a cloth. So, we can decide where you have to go, either you may go Hazratganj, you may go Aminabad or some other place also. I have just given an example of Lucknow. So, as we think, then the trip generation starts. Then the trip distribution. So, here is the trip distribution in which trips are distributed with the different sites. Then the by which mode you will travel, that will be decided by the mode choice. And finally, after getting each and everything, then we decide a particular route, particular place with the particular modes, the trip is assigned. So, this is the highway and transit, and then after getting all the things, then the traffic volume will come in existence. So, objective of transportation problem. Transportation problem works in a way of minimizing the cost function, because everything is correlated with the cost. So, we can say everything is a function of cost, and our aim to minimize the cost. The cost function is amount of money spent to logistics provider for transporting commodity from production or the supplier's place to the demand place. It includes a distance between two locations, the path followed, mode of transport, number of units that are transported, the speed of transport, etc. To transport commodity with the minimum transportation cost without any compromising in supply and demand. So, transportation problem facing in US city, and they are: first is traffic management, long commutes, parking issue, large fleet cost, a sprawling city, micro mobility and micro transit, promoting public transport, making public transport attractive. So, these are the problems that faced by a different city of US. So, first we will discuss a transportation problem. The transportation problem is a special type of linear programming problem, where the objective is to minimize the cost of distributing a product from a number of source to a number of destination. Transportation deals the transportation of a commodity. It is assumed that a level of supply of each source and the amount of demand at each destination are known. The objective is to determine the amount to be shifted from each source to each destination such that the total transportation cost is minimum. That could be calculated with different parameters. Traffic management. Some have argued that the problem of traffic congestion is inevitable, as Broking, the institution, has pointed out that traffic jam happen because people are all trying to get to work and school at the same time. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, having people work and learn together at the same time is probably a net good for our society. Unfortunately, it does lead to increase at traffic. Contrary to what many people believe, in cities, especially those with the more robust metropolitan population, traffic jam are probably avoidable. After all, some cities do better than others when it comes to traffic management. Long commutes. High commutes have socio-economic causes. Jobs tend to be clustered in cities. Workers need to live in relative proximity to their jobs. At the same time, the cost of living in most cities is exorbitant. This forces lower income earners to live far from the city center, creating inequalities for many communities that are already disproportionately marginalized. Americans spent average 17 hours in a year searching for parking. Parking problem does not just impact driver, they also impact the economy. If the driver cannot park their car, they cannot go shopping, make it to appointment, or they may even miss their business meeting. This is an area that has frustrated local government and can even lead to increased air pollution as a car ideal waiting for a parking spot. Large fleet cost. The cost of operating a large fleet are on the rise. Higher fuel costs are probably the main culprit, since they usually represent 60% of the budget of the fleet. However, fuel cost is far from the only issue. The maintenance costs are increasing, and so is the price of labor. At the same time, the basic commodity like replacement tires and vehicles parts are increased in price. These costs get passed along the consumers. Unfortunately, the high cost of operating a fleet also means that owners are likely to innovate their business in a way that might help make the city transportation more effective. Sprawling cities, expanding city. American cities tend to grow outward from the center. Densely concentrated cities like Chicago and New York are exceptional rather than the rule. Urban sprawl is the norms. At the fascinating extreme end of this trend in the city of Yakutat, Alaska, which measures 9,500 square miles, but whose population is only 662 people. The bigger a city gets, the longer it typically takes for its residents to get around. A sprawling city like Yakutat takes hours to drive across. Setting up an effective public transportation system in such a massive location present serious challenges as well. Finding solution. Micro mobility and micro transit can help solve the problem like urban sprawl, especially in case where the last mile and the first mile are not well served by the city transportation system. Bikes here are electric vehicles like scooters and e-bikes can fill in the transport gap and take residents to and from a distant train station as needed. Electric vehicles have far greater fuel efficiency than car. They are also cheap alternative to car and truck, and they do not damage any air quality or clog up roadways or create a traffic jam. Making public transportation attractive. A few years ago, a census asked Americans how they commute. More than 76% said that they drive to workplace every day, and of those 3 of 4 Americans who drive, 9% said they carpooled. In some cases, this is a matter of a choice. There is evidence that if the city makes public transportation more attractive, their residents will step away from their cars and take advantage of bikes, buses, trains and trolleys. This would solve many problems outlined in this article by reducing congestion and parking issue. Road accounts 60% of road transportation, all transportation. In India, road transit is most common means of transportation. Despite this, problem of road transport in India is increasing drastically day by day, which is faced by transportation firm due to our inadequate road infrastructure, multiple checkpoint and congestion. Whether transporting big cargo or fragile items, a well maintained road infrastructure is essential to ensure that community arrives safely at the final destination. Problem of road transportation in India solution. Because we have discussed a lot about the whole world, but now we can concentrate our problems in India. So, solution: during rainy season, most roads are unsafe to travel on. According to the survey, transportation businesses spent roughly 200 crore per year on the vehicle wear and tear. It is a very big amount, 200 crore per year. The cause for this could be due to poor road conditions. Maintaining a strong road infrastructure could be the best solution to the problem of road transport in India. And in order to build a long lasting road, long lasting material should be used. Bad traffic management. According to traffic report generated by the world top country, India is the most populated country and has plethora of traffic problems and solutions. Due to the growing population of the city, freight vehicles and a traveler alike must spend a significant amount of time stuck in traffic. This is the big problem for all city of the Indian areas. One of the major problem in transportation system of India, however, has no exact answer. Engineers, designers, planners, construction contractors and road transportation professionals all offers effective solution to these traffic problems. And government is now thinking about these things. Bad traffic management, the solution. One of the most widely recognized technique to determine the vehicular traffic in a little and a medium town and to locate is the development of new city and side step to redirect the traffic. A street traffic can be brief or to some degree diminished by rearranging the traffic in executive framework, presenting a new traffic stream and bearing without making any major primary change to the current street might give a transitory help. Parking problem. A parking is one of the major problem in transportation system in India. As we have, there is enough space in the not enough space in the center of the region of a large city to accommodate everyone who want to drive and park. As a result, parking must be controlled. However, fines in the certain town are minimal, that getting caught 2 or 3 times in a less expensive than paying a parking fees. The parking problem solution: separate a parking arrangement for short term. This is one. Tourist and local residents should be developed by constructing restricted parking spot to overcome this problem of transportation. Overall, parking management is a straightforward to implement, a versatile to use and a simple for passenger to comprehend. Fuel price is the major problem. One of the highly faced problem in transportation in India with the rising oil cost and Indian oil marketing cooperation intending to raise the fuel price. Car owners may be forced to make some difficult financial decisions. So, the solution will be electric vehicles. These electric automobile, now it is a very good in sense of innovation. Now, electric vehicles are come in the market, do not require a fuel and recharge on the regular basis at the various electric stations at the outlet. Make more use of public transportation, as we can promote it and we have discussed a lot earlier. Fourth come, local government in a number of cities are progressively favoring CNG vehicles over the diesel and petrol car. CNG is less polluting than the carbon based fuel like gasoline and diesel. Cycling and walking, of course, it is a very good thing for the health and for the traffic. Now, faulting planning and transportation system. The development of transport system is unbalanced and there is heavy pressure on rail and road transport in certain cities and a region. For the balanced development of the region, alternative routes should be developed, like metro in Delhi has decreased the pressure of road transport. Lack of rail road coordination. Railroad transport system are the main means of transportation in our country. These two should work in coordination and this growth is undesirable for the economic and environmental point of view. Worn out and obsolete asset. The main problem of transportation system is its worn out and obsolete asset. In all modes of transportation, they are old and worn out. Indian Railways 25% are route length and 75 to 80% of the machinery in the railway workshop have to be replaced. Similarly, 80% of the above buses piled by the State Road Transport Corporation are outdated and outmodelled. Improve technology. A rail and road transport system, we are using age old technology and so our progress is slow. Our road transportation is substandard and is increased wear and tear of the vehicle and overhead expenditure. Problem domain affecting transportation. The transportation problem has been divided into the three classes and they are the problem that are direct transportation services, problems those in the problem domain affected by transportation, those problem domain affecting transportation. So, the first transportation service based problem are congestion, inadequate capacity, high user cost, high facility cost, low rate of return, lack of safety, lack of privacy and discomfort. These are the service problem. Now, second is in domain affected by transportation, that are air pollution, noise, visual intrusion, poor appearance, increase the cost of abutting land, excessive right of way and reallocation requirement, inappropriate and undesirable development, moral, religious and biological problems, unequal impacts and certain population group. The third is problem in the domain affecting transportation, increased population growth and disbursement, increased automobile ownership, packedness in the amount, the time and travel component of the system. So, these are the problems that we have already discussed and thank you very much. Thank you.